It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so 2024 is shaping up to be quite a interesting year in boxing when you talk about the featherweight division. I feel like 2024 will be the year of the featherweight division, but in the weight class just below it, the super bantamweight division, we know that Naoya Inoue is still down there. He's the money man around these weights. And, it's fully expected that by most boxing pundits and experts that Naoya Inoue will handle business against Marlon Tapales, even though Marlon's a very good fighter. And people are already speculating what's going to be his next move. And Inoue has already stated that he does have an intent to stay at super bantamweight should he be successful against Tapales and defend the belt at least once and fill out a bit more before he moves up to featherweight. And one guy that's come out ahead of all this and stated that he wants that he's waiting for the winner is none other than Luis Nery. He is the WBC mandatory challenger. He did have one of the most entertaining fights in all of boxing this year against Azat Hovhannisyan. And he said the following, and I quote, "I am waiting for the winner of Inoue versus Tapales." Now, the reason that this is really intriguing is because for those that don't know, for those that may have not been following boxing as long or may have forgotten, you gotta remember, Luis Nery cannot fight in Japan. He had that incident where, in August of 2017, he tested positive for clenbuterol, and the WBC chalked it up to contamination, and that was around the time where Canelo and a lot of the Mexican boxers were testing positive for clenbuterol, right? Then, if that wasn't bad enough, he further went on to disgrace himself when he missed weight for the rematch with Shinsuke Yamanaka, and he wound up stopping Yamanaka. But then the Japanese Boxing Commission decided to give him a lifetime ban. So he cannot fight in Japan. So if Inoue stays at 122 for a fight and he has to fight someone, it is fully expected that the front runner to get that fight would be Luis Nery. Now, because he's already banned in the country of Japan by the commission, that means Inoue would have to come to the USA. And I got to say this. Inoue's name this calendar year, and it has grown a lot more mainstream. With the Stephen Fulton fight, that was probably the first time in his career, I could say, in the USA, where Inoue had the undivided attention of the American boxing fans. And when he had the undivided attention, he made sure he gave the American boxing fans a performance to remember, and he absolutely demolished, outboxed, outclassed, and outfought Stephen Fulton to a 7th round or 8th round stoppage, right? So that being said, I think if there was ever a time for Inoue to have a fight in the USA, it would have to be next year. And, we know that the country of Japan, geographically speaking, it's the closest to the West Coast, the western part of America, of the USA, like California and whatnot, and even like Las Vegas, but more so California, right? So I've always wondered when and why won't ESPN try to build Inoue in California, because California has a big Japanese and Asian community. I feel like he's so good and he's got so much box office appeal as a fighter. If they were to really invest the money into him to build him, he could be a guy that, and this might sound, maybe I'm a little delusional, but I feel like with the proper investment and obviously enough willingness for him to come fight here, enough to build himself, he could fight at Dodger Stadium one day. That's how I feel about Inoue. I feel like he's that level of box office. But regardless of where they fight, Luis Nery versus Naoya Inoue in the USA make a lot of sense, because obviously when you talk about fighting in LA, when you talk about fighting in Las Vegas, you're talking about fighting amongst a big Mexican population. Inoue fighting a Mexican fighter who's been champion before, who has an entertaining style, who will come forward, I think is a very attractive and marketable scenario for all parties involved, for Inoue, for ESPN, for Top Rank. And then the backdrop of it all is the fact that Luis Nery has the whole Yamanaka controversy. And I'm sure that the Top Rank, ESPN propaganda machine could have a field day with that, about how there was the clenbuterol scandal in the first fight, the rematch he missed weight, the Japanese Boxing Commission banned him, which is why he can't go to Japan, which is why he's fighting in the States. Which is why he's fighting in the USA against Inoue. The fight sells itself, and he's a mandatory challenger. And he just had one of the best fights of the year with Asaho Venetian. So, listen, man, I'm on board. I'm on board with that fight. There's really no fight for Inoue right now in the USA that I think would make more sense for him. I mean, I know you got like Bruce Shushu Carrington who's been calling him out, but he's still got some development. I'm still thinking like he's a year and a half away from even being ready to fight Inoue, to be honest with you. And then you got guys like Elijah Pierce, who I interviewed today, who, you know, they're top contenders at 122, but they're not like quite up there. But he wants to fight him. And Elijah Pierce is a guy that talks and taunts people and brings props to the weigh-in and can punch with both hands. And I think he'd make for an entertaining fight. But Luis Nery and Naoya Inoue just makes all the sense in the world. And on top of that, too, you have the Yamanaka controversy. You have the fact that he got banned from the Japanese Boxing Commission. You know, and look, it would add another chapter to what, in my opinion, for me, I'm not talking about you guys, but for me, my favorite rivalry in boxing is not USA versus Mexico or Mexico versus Puerto Rico or any of those type of rivalries in boxing. My favorite rivalry in boxing is Mexico versus Japan, because they're two different countries, two different cultures, two cultures that I love and respect dearly. Two countries who have a lot of fighters I'm a fan of, and their just philosophies on boxing are so different, you know. And that's why the fights are always so interesting, because of the contrast in styles. So, Luis Nery patiently awaits the winner of Naoya Inoue and Marlon Tapales, and I do think that will be the fight that ESPN and Top Rank and Ohashi Promotions and Naoya Inoue all target to make in the USA at some point during 2024. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys think about the prospects of that fight? You know, let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just from doing it. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.